This Digging for Meaning PowerPoint is again about comprehension, but it deals specifically with expository or informational text. This PowerPoint is about 7 to 8 minutes long. We've talked about narrative text in the previous module. While narrative text focuses on a storyline, expository text, on the other hand, is focused on sharing information. Depending on what an author wants to communicate, be it describing a person or event, or telling the similarities and differences between given issues, objects, or people, etc., he uses a specific structure to organize and carry this information. Depending on the article or text, he might use several different types of text structures within that article or selection. There are numerous text structures, but we are going to focus on just 5. Each text structure is often characterized by certain words. Students can use these words to help identify the text structure of a piece of writing. These are probably the 5 most common text structures used in expository text that are encountered by students in the elementary grades. Give it a try and use the signal words provided on the expository text structure analysis chart to identify the text structure for the 5 paragraphs that follow. Here is side 1 of the text structure analysis chart. It gives not only the text structure and signal words, but also a graphic organizer that is appropriate for recording information gleaned from the text, as well as a sample text for that structure. And here is side 2. These charts can be duplicated for student use. They can be kept in clear plastic page sleeves or laminated. They are a very handy resource. And 8x11 charts are also included in Module 7. Read this paragraph and decide on its text structure. Actually, this structure was easy to identify as a problem solution, with a giveaway phrase of one solution, and the obvious problem of having your furniture chewed up. Again, this one is also easy to spot because of all this descriptive language that tips the reader off that this is a description text structure. In this case, words like however, similar, and both signal that this is a compare-contrast text structure. Many times an if-then statement can be found as part of a cause and effect text structure. This paragraph has a lot of time-order words that are found in sequence text structure. Here is a follow-up activity for a Grade 3 Scholastic News magazine. Try your hand at identifying the text structure for each paragraph. So, why is text structure important? Knowing the text structure lets the students in on the author's purpose. Is the author describing something or explaining the effect of an incident or event, etc.? As mentioned before, students can use signal words to help identify the text structure, which in turn can be a great help in determining the author's intentions or purpose. Once they know that, it's easier for the reader to extract relevant information from the text because he is looking for specific information that fits the mental framework he has pulled up to match the text structure the author is using. If asked to record important information from the text, he can use his knowledge of that text structure to select the appropriate graphic organizer to record that information, and now has a visual representation of the facts from the text. So, for example, if the reader comes across words like first, second, next, then, later, or finally, he can probably determine that the author is giving him a set of events or steps. He can then be alert for what those important events or steps are as he reads. If he needs to record information, his knowledge of text structure makes it easy for him to choose a sequence chain to organize that information. So you can see that it's important for students to be able to identify these various text structures, as they can help greatly with determining the author's purpose and also in extracting relevant information from the text. However, knowledge of text structure not only helps with comprehension, it is an essential component to writing to inform as well. Once students understand how authors use text structure to organize what they want to say, students begin to see that they can use the same tactic to express themselves clearly. One resource that is very well constructed and helps in this endeavor is a series of grade-level materials from Even More Publishing. Each grade level resource provides several expository texts which demonstrate a variety of text structures. Students are encouraged to help identify the text structure that is used. Then, they are provided with an appropriate graphic organizer so they can extract the important pieces of information from the text. In the next step, they are asked to respond to a prompt using the information from the selection and the graphic organizer. The prompt calls for writing a paragraph that utilizes the same text structure as the original article. Through this series of lessons, students are exposed to a model of the specific text structure in the selection, and then in turn mimic that same text structure in their response. When you have a chance, please look at this material at the website provided on this slide. Another characteristic of expository text that makes it different from narrative text is the use of text features. Although some of these text features may also be found in fiction, they are almost always a part of a nonfiction trade book. Here are just a few major features that are often used in informational books. And here are a number of text features that are often embedded within expository text. There is a huge range of informational texts available at all reading levels today. Many of these text features make these books especially intriguing to young readers. Whereas in a chapter book, there are few breaks from pages of text that must be read from cover to cover in order to follow the storyline, expository text is often broken up by high interest and supportive text features. Many times, an informational book does not necessarily have to be read from cover to cover, but the reader can jump in and out of it depending on the parts that he finds most interesting. Students who might be hesitant to pick up a chapter book may find themselves engrossed in an informative book about a topic of interest to them. The bottom line is that students need to know that good writers use these tools to enhance the reader's understanding of the text. They are there not to look good or decorate the page, but that each is carefully thought out and used with a specific purpose in mind. Students need to be able to identify various text features in a selection and look to and use them to enhance comprehension of the selection.